Weight loss week 5. First month is now done with, and there are definitely some visual changes, though of course not too much yet. Can't expect those after only 1 month of losing weight. The phase of getting used to cutting again is now behind me, and the next month or two will probably be the ones with the most motivation for losing weight. Here's last week's average calories per day, average daily weight, weight loss, and total weight loss so far. Here is the comparison between this week and week 1, starting to look a little bit tighter, especially in the chest area, and the ab outline is slowly starting to show as well. Unfortunately, my measurements this week are exactly the same as last week, so waist is 91 centimeters, neck is 40 centimeters, chest is 120 centimeters, arms are 41 centimeters, and legs are 75 centimeters. Waist measurement has now been the same for 3 weeks straight, so definitely expecting a drop next week. I'm here on an early morning walk, been up all night. Gonna take this time to explain my programming changes and the upcoming training for the next 4 weeks or so. For the last 4 weeks, I've been progressing each of my lifts either in weight or reps, every single workout, every single week. And knowing from experience, I can't keep doing that without completely plateauing and running myself to the ground. So what I have done is reduce my loads on every exercise by about 10%, then I'm gonna ramp them back up week to week for the next month or so, hopefully hitting new PRs by then. My main exercises stay exactly the same as before, same reps, same sets, same everything. I've switched my assistance exercises around a little bit, and I have condensed my 4 workout days into 3 main workouts, plus this little extra workout on Saturday where I do 7 minutes of chin-ups, push-ups and sit-ups each. Looking at the program in detail, my main workouts are on Monday, Wednesday and Friday, starting with a lower body lift each day, with an upper body pressing exercise on the 2nd slot and an upper body pulling exercise on the 3rd slot. I've mixed up the variations so that no day has 3 really heavy lifts or 3 really light lifts. Instead, the overall stress on each day is roughly similar. The extra workout on Saturday is one that I already did once 2 weeks ago, but just to explain it, it's basically GPP, General Physical Preparedness, where I just do some work that isn't really heavy but is still challenging. After all, I'm trying to get as many reps as possible within 7 minutes for each exercise. Anyway, a very similar program to the previous one, just with some minor changes to the assistance exercises and rep ranges and some reorganization. Lastly, here's a little progression plan for each lift to hopefully hit new PRs on the 4th week. Now, the training this week wasn't exactly exciting. After all, it's the first week after a reset and it's supposed to be kinda easy, but it's still a productive weight on each exercise. Here are squats for 5 sets of 5 with 130 kilos. Throughout the week, I noticed from time to time that I wasn't exactly 100% focused on my technique, and that made some reps feel really hard. So these are the kind of weights that still encourage good technique, because that makes the lifts a lot easier. Doing some dumbbell pressing work for the first time in a long time with the incline dumbbell press. Started pretty easy with 4 sets of 10 with the 30 kilo dumbbells. Definitely have some room to go up in weight on this one, but this did feel like a really good starting weight with which to build some momentum for the upcoming weeks. One arm dumbbell rows are still here with the same weight as last week, so 35 kilos. But whereas last week I did it for 15, 12, 10 and 8, here I'm doing it for 4 sets of 10, which is an overall reduction of 5 reps over 4 sets. This felt like an appropriate decrease in relative intensity, making it a little bit of a deload from last week. That is the first Monday workout with the new program done. Winter is back. March was looking really great, but that was just a prank, bro. Figuratively throwing every curse word that I have in my repertoire here. To be real, in 2 months I'll probably be cursing the excessive heat, which I cannot stand. Really, I wish it always was May or September. Anyway, this finishes off Cargo Squat's weather talk of the week. Now, this next workout was supposed to be on Wednesday, but I did it on Thursday instead. The weights are still light enough on this first week and probably the second week as well that it doesn't really matter that I'm doing 2 main workouts on back-to-back days. Deadlifts moved well. Although I'm not a fast lifter, I'm trying to move these as fast as I can. Same thing here with the overhead press. I was kinda stuck between whether to start with 57.5 kilos or 60 kilos, but I have had a tendency to start new programs and progressions with too high of a weight, so nowadays when I'm making those decisions I always lean towards the lower option. Now here's one lift that I changed a little bit from the previous program. There I was doing pull-ups for 4 sets of 5 to 10, but here I'm doing chin-ups for 5 sets of 5. Started easy with just 5 kilos added, and I'm gonna progress them to 12.5 kilos added on this run, hopefully eventually to 20 kilos added on this cut. But that's that for the second workout of the week. New lowest weight was 211.4 pounds, exactly 9 pounds less than my starting weight. That translates to 96.1 kilos, by the way. Moving on to Friday's workout, here's another lift that I changed a little bit. I was doing this for 4 sets of 5 to 10, but now I'm just doing it for 4 straight sets of 5. Would be really nice to progress this to 140 kilos, aka 3 plates. I've done it for 1 set of 5, but not multiple. One thing I did this week was shorten my rest periods a little bit. Usually I rest for 3 to 5 minutes between sets, but here I was only going for 2 to 3 minutes. Aerobic capacity isn't my strongest suit and never really has been. Had to use this kind of ghetto looking setup for my bench because all the good benches were taken at the time. This was a conservative starting weight for the bench progression, but it still felt a little heavier than I thought it would. I honestly think it's because I failed to take the weight seriously for most of the sets. Complete full body tightness and explosiveness is the key on bench press. And well, every other lift in existence, but it's deceptive on the bench press. I also changed my barbell rows for just 4 straight sets of 8 instead of 4 sets of 5 to 10. At least for the time being, I'm doing these without straps, so just using chalk and a double overhand grip. Functional strength as a term has become kind of a meme because it gets thrown around in contexts where it shouldn't really be used. But grip strength is definitely one of the most functional strengths you can develop, so that's what I'm trying to accomplish here. Anyway, that finishes off Friday's workout. Now on Saturday's 7-minute AMRAP workout, which, just to be clear, stands for as many reps as possible, I got 36 chin-ups, which is 4 more than the previous time I did this 2 weeks ago. And on push-ups I got 101, which is only 1 more than the previous time. But something I noticed back then when I watched the video of myself doing push-ups was that I didn't do them as deep as I could have. Previously I did them deep enough that my nose didn't hit the floor, but I noticed that my head was kinda tilted forward. This made them artificially seem deeper than they really were, and this time I fixed that. So even though I only got 1 more rep compared to the previous time, it was a clear improvement in my books. Speaking of clear improvements, I got 33 more sit-ups than the previous time, had my feet well supported as one should when doing sit-ups, and even though I farted on the first few reps with my girlfriend right next to me, I kept up a really solid pace. Now the ratios on the reps between chin-ups, push-ups and sit-ups are looking more like I expected them to look. I really can't overhype the psychological importance of workouts like these. When you're losing weight, your strength typically drops a little bit, but on bodyweight exercises your reps will only go up and up. This can actually be quite a bit more motivating than you would immediately imagine, and I think this is why you should dedicate some time out of your training to bodyweight exercises, specifically when you're losing weight. This is also why I call it cope progress. Anyway, that takes care of this week's fat loss vlog. I thank you all for watching, and I will see you next week.